Southern Claims Commission by Carol Beauchamp. The Southern Claims Commission is a small body of records that are relatively unknown for the most part, but are very useful in genealogical research. During this presentation, I will explain what these records are all about and where to get them. During the Civil War, many families had their property confiscated or destroyed by the Union Army. The war was expensive. Food, horses, fodder, saddles, and other supplies were constantly in demand, so the Union Army just took whatever they needed from the people throughout the countryside. To compensate Southerners for their losses, Congress established the Southern Claims Commission in 1871. The claimants had 2 years to make a claim, but the deadline had to be extended several times, eventually closing in March of 1880. The federal government appointed commissioners who went throughout the South taking testimonies from claimants and their witnesses. After evaluating their claims, the commissioners decided whether to allow or reject the claim, and if it was allowed, how much money the claimant should be compensated for. There were 22,289 claims totaling more than $60 million for damages. However, only 7,092 of those claims were allowed for settlements totaling over $4 million. The commissioners were very leery of the claimants because they knew what they stood to gain by lying, so they had strict procedures in order to verify their claim. People of all classes, gender, and race could apply for compensation from the Southern Claims Commission, but they had to be an American citizen. They had to have resided in a state that succeeded, remained loyal to the Union, owned the property that they claimed, and that said property had to have been taken or destroyed for military purposes. Their property would have had to been taken by a military unit rather than just some rogue Union soldiers acting on their own behalf. Some people's claims were denied because of this. Southerners from these 12 states were allowed to file claims between March 3, 1871 and March 3, 1873. However, many claims were made from other states by individuals that claimed to have resided in the qualifying states during the war. Therefore, 24 states and the District of Columbia appear in the barred and disallowed case files of the Southern Claims Commission. Each claim should include all of the documents listed on the screen. The case file is quite valuable to the genealogist. They could include personal accounts of the claimant's losses, military records of claimants or their relatives, family letters and/or Bible records, personal descriptions, property inventories, travel logs, and wills and probate records. Testimonies from the witnesses could even be more revealing. They were routinely asked questions concerning their relationship and knowledge about the claimant. The information obtained from the Southern Claims Commission will be very detailed and provides a wealth of information about Southerners during the Civil War. These quotes were taken from the claim of Nancy A. Tett from Marion County, Arkansas. I find this interesting because there is a Confederate compiled military service record for her son, and anyone finding that record would automatically assume that he had been a Confederate, but it doesn't tell the whole story. Davis K. Tett, which is his real name, not David, was actually a Union sympathizer. He happens to be the same Davis K. Tett that was involved in the famous shootout involving Wild Bill Hickok in Springfield, Missouri in 1865. Sometimes it pays off to do a deeper dive into the records to uncover the whole truth. This is just an example of the kind of details you can find within the Southern Claims Commission. Here is an itemized list of the property taken from Nancy A. Tett, which includes 6 horses, 2,000 bundles of oats, and 100 bushels of corn. She was requesting 690, but only received 640. They disallowed her $50 over the price of the corn. Claimants didn't always get what they asked for, but something was better than nothing. The questioning was extensive in the Southern Claims Commission because it was probably designed to help weed out fraudulent claims. There were 3 different sets of questions that were asked by the Commission. The initial version was in 1871. An amended version came out in 72 and a final version in 1874. The questionnaires are all lengthy, but the final version was a whopping 80 questions. The witnesses had to answer the same questions as the claimant. Many of the witnesses were former slaves. The questions will not be listed with the claimant's response. The claimant's responses are only numbered in the order the questions were asked, so you won't know what is being asked unless you have a list of the questions. The St. Louis County Library in Missouri has a very informative page on their website about the Southern Claims Commission records, which contains a list of each of the 3 different versions. You can figure out which questionnaire your ancestor was given by looking at the date of the application. Having the questions will help you understand the answers better. I have included a link on the screen to access the questions. There are too many to talk about it here. There are several different indexes you can use in your research. The indexes are generally organized alphabetically according to the claimant's surname and will give the county and state, the year filed, and sometimes the status of the claim depending on which index you use. If the claim was approved, the applicant received money. Disallowed means the claim was denied and there was no money given. Barred means failure to submit sufficient evidence by the given deadline. Here is a list of indexes you can use to check for any claims made by your ancestors. The first one is available for free on Google Books. The Southern Claims Commission Master Index 1871 to 1880 is available on Ancestry.com. The last 2 listed are books that we have available in the Genealogy Department at George Memorial Library. Other libraries may have them as well. Let's look at an example of the ones available online. This is an example of what you will find in the Consolidated Index of Claims reported by the Commissioners of Claims to House of Representatives from 1871 to 1880. This index gives you the most information, and you can view it for free online in Google Books. It's very detailed in that it gives the amount claimed, amount approved, and the amount disallowed. As we saw before, just because a claim was approved doesn't mean the claimant got everything he or she asked for. This index even gives you the nature of the claim, which is a short list of their losses. This is an example of the U.S. Southern Claims Commission Master Index 1871 to 1880, available on Ancestry.com. In addition to the name, county, state, year, and status, the index gives a commission number, an office number, and report number. All claims will have a commission number, but not every claim will have an office number. Only disallowed claims will have this. The same goes for the report number. Not every claim will have one. Only disallowed and allowed claims will have this. Barred claims will not. So don't worry if your ancestor's claim doesn't have all 3 numbers. Keep in mind that some of the case files are missing. Roughly 2,000 approved Southern Claim Commission case files have been lost. These missing case files might be indexed, but the cases themselves no longer exist. It is very frustrating to find a case file in the index only to learn that you can't get a copy of it. This has happened to me. In addition to the Master Index, Ancestry.com also has some of the claims viewable online. One database for the allowed or approved claims and one for the disallowed and barred claims. The allowed claims database only contains images from the claims done in the 4 states of Alabama, Georgia, Virginia, and West Virginia. This is explained in the About section that Ancestry provides for each database. It is always wise to read this section to fully understand what you are looking at and maybe find out why your record wasn't listed. The notes go on to further say that you can still obtain copies of the records from the other states by contacting the National Archives. Use the link on the screen to send an inquiry. Ancestry also has a database for the disallowed and barred claims. All of those cases are online except for the cases that were appealed. Appealed cases can be inquired about at the National Archives as well. Ancestry.com Library Edition is available at George Memorial Library and any of our Fort Bend County Library branches for free. FamilySearch.org has the Southern Claims Commission approved claims from the state of Virginia. It also has a wonderful family research wiki page on the Southern Claims Commission that explains in great detail all you need to know about those records. Their wiki pages are a great tool to use in your research. They have pages on different topics such as records, localities, subjects, and methods that can help you. I have included the link on the screen to access the wiki page concerning the records of the Southern Claims Commission. FamilySearch.org is a free database that can be accessed from your home for free, but you will have to create a username and password to use it. Fold3.com is a wonderful source for military records, but it does cost money to be a member. They have quite a Civil War collection, including records from the Southern Claims Commission. Like Ancestry.com, they have the 4 states of Alabama, Georgia, Virginia, and West Virginia, but they also include the rest of the states, which are grouped together in one collection named the Southern Claims Commission Approved Claims, 1871 to 1880. Fold 3 is in the process of digitizing these records and putting them online. They also have the disallowed and barred claims available, and those records are complete. If you don't have access to online resources, you can always obtain a copy of the record through the National Archives. To get a copy of an approved claim, use the contact link listed on the screen to get in touch with them about your request. Make sure you provide them with all the information you obtained from the index about the case. Inquire about the availability of the claim you are interested in. Remember, some of the claims did not survive even though they are listed in the index. The National Archives is very good at answering questions about their records. Their website allows you to send an inquiry through their Contact Us section. I have used this service many times and have always received a helpful response. You can also just contact them by mail using the address listed on the screen. If you have been told your case is missing by the National Archives, don't give up hope yet. It may be actually missing, or it may have been sent for congressional review. In order to find out if this is the case, send a letter requesting that information to the address on the left under Missing Cases. If they respond with a congressional case number, you will need to write a letter to the address on the right to obtain a copy of the case file. Be sure to include all of the information about the case, including the newly acquired congressional case number. The Southern Claims Commission is an obscure set of records, but so worthy if you're able to find one for your ancestor. The chances of you actually finding one are pretty slim because it isn't a large body of records. However, if you don't find one for an ancestor, it's also useful just to read all of the claims from the county that your ancestor was from to get an idea of what it was like for the people of that area during the Civil War. Remember that each claim had to have testimonies from witnesses to support their claim. Your ancestor might not have made a claim himself, but could be a witness in someone else's. One of my grandfathers was mentioned in the claim of Nancy A. Tutt, where I learned that he was a Union supporter. I had always suspected that he was, but didn't have any hard proof until I came across her claim. His name was mentioned by one of the witnesses in the claim, and it was quite a surprise. So you just never know what you will find. I hope you will give the interesting records a look. Happy hunting, and thanks for watching.